morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you be toking up and tuning in because you know I sure do. Going to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors. We got Orca, Oklahomans for Responsible Cannabis Action here in Oklahoma. We've also got OTU Media. We're rocking some stuff with OTU Media. Now, right now, we're sitting here and I'm talking with my good friend Chip Paul. He's the author of State Question 788 and Right On. Hey, Chip, how you doing, brother?
Great, John. It's so good to see you, man. We have some history. We have some stories that we could tell. We've done some things together. So it's good to see you again, and good to be here today.
Yes, sir. Great. And we've been talking, we talked a little bit beforehand about the endocannabinoid system, and we were expanding on that a little bit because, as we all know, I've got cancer. I've got two types of cancer, and my wife has cancer too. And I'm
Hmm.
using a lot of CBD products on her cancer. She's going through proton therapy, and whenever you go through proton therapy, you get like a sunburn where it's at. So I'm using a lot of skin cream and stuff on her.
Yep. And cancer is a really interesting thing, and cancer is under the endocannabinoid system, and kind of in my world, I'm a why guy, right? So I got to figure out, why things work and kind of, what happens with cancer and what's really going on there. And again, everything I'm going to say here is research. You can go dig this out the way I did at NIH.gov. I mean, there's lots of research studies that indicate this. But again, if you go to your oncologist just doesn't know this. This is kind of new stuff, right?
Right.
But cancer is really interesting, and let's say you don't like what I'm saying. You throw a rock at me, and you cause a trauma, right? So I get a bruise. So you can think about, a bruise. And so what happens with a bruise? I'll tie this back to cancer in a second, I promise, John.
I understand.
but what happens with a bruise is basically, something's got to happen inside of you to tell your body, oh, this area is being worked on, and I got to kind of leave it alone because, different stuff's happening there than in all this other functioning area, right?
Right.
And the way that your body does that is through endocannabinoids. And your cells in the area of a bruise in the boundary will ooze something called 2AG. And 2AG is our internal signaling molecule at our CB2 receptor. Okay. So oozing 2AG appears to tell our immune system, hey, back off, leave me alone. You don't need to attack me. You don't need to do anything to me. I'm under repair by the endocannabinoid system.
Right.
Now, interestingly enough, that's exactly what cancer does. So it's always been this big mystery scientifically as to, why does your body leave cancer alone? Why does your body leave a cancer mass alone? Well, it turns out the answer to those questions is that, frankly, it's because it overexpresses 2AG. So it oozes an endocannabinoid. But if you know that, then there are strategies that you can use to attack cancer. And so this is one of the reasons why THC, like a THC strategy, will work, is because it can fight through all that endocannabinoid signaling noise and say, all it's got to do literally is get to the cancer, THC, and touch one cell. Boink. And when it touches that cell will express a CB1 neuroreceptor. And then that THC can signal it, and it'll tell the cancer, die. I
Yeah.
usually say die, MF, die, but
There you go.
yeah, we'll spare your listeners the MF part of that.
Yeah. Because we had Rodney Bowers on last week, and he does RSO, and in his opinion, cured his cancer. That's for sure.
Yeah, and so like if you look at a cancer strategy, the way that let's say pharma or modern medicine deals with cancer is with chemotherapy and radiation. So what that does, so now let's kind of talk about cancer a little bit, and then we'll talk about maybe a hybrid way that people are dealing with cancers now that's proving to be very effective. And honestly, everybody needs to have this information everything that I'm telling you again is research. This isn't bro science. This isn't,
Fact checkers can check it.
absolutely. You can go to nih.gov, and again, if you want me to, John, I can send you the underpinnings of the study I'm going to talk about in a second, where anybody can download it and
I
read
appreciate
it,
that,
if they
Chip.
want. Okay, but anyway, so current modern medicine, the way they deal with cancer is different, kind of. Your body wants to run, your engine in your body is something called mitochondria, and you don't have one engine, you've got 100 gajillion of them that are in a bunch of cells. Well, mitochondria will run on two different kinds of fuel sources, glucose and fats. You're about 50 times more efficient if you're running on fats than you are on glucose. Well, that's another kind of interesting side fact. And cancer likes to run on glucose. So cancer almost forces itself into a very inefficient method, but that means it's got to eat, and it's got to eat glucose, right? And so the way that it does that is it literally uses a substance called tubulin or actin. It depends on kind of the cancer and where it is, but to form these little tubes, and so it spikes out these tubes, and then these tubes go and find glucose, and that's how it eats. Okay. Well, and again, your body doesn't even know it's there. Your body thinks it's a bruise because it's oozing 2Ag, so it looks like a bruise. So anyway, it's out there eating. So chemo basically messes with its ability to form tubulin and to, go out and try to find sugar and eat, as does chemotherapy, as does radiation therapy. So it does the same thing. Basically, they're going after how cancers eat. Well, interestingly, and I'll tie this all back together with sort of some ancient science in a second, but very interestingly, it turns out that some of these antiparasitics, believe it or not, things that kill bacteria, things that kill parasites by disrupting their ability to form tubulin and actin. Right?
Cool.
So this is why ivermectin is showing very high sort of efficacy with certain types of cancers. This is why things like menbendazole, which is the human version of an antiparasitic, and there's an animal version that you can go buy right now at Southern Ag. It's the same stuff, called fenbendazole, and they're showing very high efficacy with cancers. And the study that I would send you is on menben. Again, Fenben you can buy at Southern Ag. Menben you need a prescription for, but it's the same stuff. Not telling you what to do, but just giving you information.
There you go.
But I can, again, I can send you those studies, and the studies even have dosage information.
Cool.
But what I am recommend. So again, I am not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm a researcher, but I do have people come to me all the time for advice. And my cancer people, I don't even, if you want to use THC as a treatment, that is also shown to be effective, and it won't hurt anything. Absolutely not. It will help you eat and do a whole bunch of other things. But Fenben is my go-to now. And it even works. The study that I'll send you is clinical trials. Basically, it's in clinical trials for certain kinds of cancer, but it works with glioma, which is brain cancer. It's the hardest with a THC strategy. One of the problems is, how do I get the THC to where that cancer is?
Right.
Yeah. And so at New Pharma, we have some technology that helps do that, but it's still hard to do. If you have eye cancer, eyes is the hardest place to get something, right? So again, you can drip it in there, but your eyes hold something for 2 microseconds. Right. They just absorb it. But, if you want to get something somewhere, again, there's a strategy, but it's far better if you can just generally affect your body. And that is what these menben, and these antiparasitics appear to be to do.
Cool.
So,
Right on, Chip. I'll tell you what, we're going to post a lot of the stuff about that cancer studies and stuff that you research that you're telling us about, because that is right on. That's right to where I've got. We're going to have to take a short break right now. I've been sitting here talking with Chip Paul from New Pharma. and we got a lot of products coming out, right, brother?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be back here in just a second. Ping!
How did I get it all up from the bottom? Gas, yeah, we want all the gas, yeah, we want all the gas, yeah. We on all the gas, yeah, we want all the gas, yeah, we want all the gas, yeah. They can't compare to my swag, yo, I finesse and rent up a bag. If I get a check, tryna double it back. I gotta put where I'm from on the map, learned a whole lot where I came from. It's not coming down anytime soon. We be geek and no geeks while my squad full of goons. I'm a little chop. I got myself in my lungs. Money on me going money on me going dumb.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in because you know I do it in them breaks. Going to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors because that's the only way we can do this show is with the sponsors right here. So we got Castile Farms. We've also got a grow contest going on with them. Cool, right on. We got Be Elevated, and I've also got my Barrage coffee right here in my cup. I'm sitting here talking to my good friend Joe Hager from Nature's Key, the founder of Nature's Key. Oh, I should have been able to read that on your shirt.
There we go, right here, right here.
How you doing, man? We've
We're
been
doing
talking
well,
about a
Joe.
lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
man. Thanks for having me on the show. This
Right
is
on,
great.
right
It's
on.
nice to meet the family first time here, and
There you go,
excited
cool.
to be here and tell our story a little bit.
Now the
So,
Bunker Rocks down here at OTU Media. You know, we have a good time.
Good deal, good deal. Well, yeah, no, I'm excited to be on the show today. Tell you a little bit about Nature's Key. For those of you that don't know Nature's Key, we were one of the first processing licenses granted in the state. After 788 passed, and a group of passionate individuals came together and really saw the future of cannabis consumption lying in edibles, something that we believe we've
Right.
created, the most credible edible on the market because we invested in our technology. And
Nature's
so-
Key was one of the first places I came out and did a tour. of.
yeah. So we, again, we were one of the first brands out there. Thank God, 3-4 years later, we're still here to tell
There you
the
go.
tale. But I think one of the reasons why is because we've really taken that true medical approach.
Mhm.
With our gummies, we really wanted to be the type of medicine that could eventually pipe into universities, to healthcare systems, and to be able to serve future cannabis consumers. So,
Right.
we accomplished that by having only 1 gram of sugar, no FD&C additives, so no red dye number 40, no yellow 120, and no artificial flavors or colorings in our gummies. So those 3 characteristics is really how we've separated ourselves from everyone else in the industry. And again,
That makes a difference to the patients, though, all those additives and stuff, because we've always red dye, yellow dye, yeah. I'll get it.
100%, John. It's those 3 things address a very specific type of patient that oftentimes is forgotten about.
Right.
I think here in Oklahoma we're in a phase where we see recreation coming on very, very strong, and traditionally in states that's happened, the medical market who this program was created for, it's forgotten about.
Right.
And those patients can't find that quality medicine. They can't find something that is dosed within a plus or minus 5% variance, which is the Nature's Key standard. Pharma grade is plus or minus 10. So again, with our values, with our products, what they represent, they speak for themselves, and we're just very grateful to be a part of all those patient journeys.
Right on. And like I said, we've seen it down at the Capitol numerous times, talked and stuff like that. Went up, talked to legislators.
100%.
And that's what we always push it is medicine to me. I use it in various different forms, but it is always medicine to me.
Amen. We're really fortunate. My now CEO, Nathan Richter, he's a 14-year trial lawyer that had many of cases within product liabilities.
Right.
So I think just that alone in a cannabis company speaks for itself as to the quality of medicine that we look to provide to our patients in the state. So one other thing that I'd really like to talk about today is a product that we came out with last year called Battle Buddy. Now this product was born simply because my CEO is a vet. He came back in 2005, and he's had 20 of his friends commit suicide.
Oh, yeah.
So we work hand in hand with an integrative cannabis doctor by the name of Dr. June Chin out of New York. She's actually an international authority on cannabis and cannabis-based medicine. And we asked her, do you have anything that might be able to address this pandemic? And she said, I have this formulation that I've been using in my practice for about the past decade. It consists of a low dose of CBD, CBN, and a blend of ashwagandha, lemon balm, L-theanine, and ginseng that works synergistically to calm that storm. We're very, very happy to say we've given away about 25,000 of these capsules since last year. And John, I get calls on a weekly basis from people saying, my quality of life is better.
I dig it, yeah.
I'm able to deal when that PTS hits, when I'm on the road, when my hands clam up, ranging to, patients that have developed social anxieties on account of their own health issues, preventing them from going to the grocery store, being afraid that they might cause a scene. Those people are happily engaging in society and able to do that. So the product does not discriminate in any way, shape, or form. We've had people with night terrors. We've had individuals that have started giving it to their autistic and ADHD children and seen tremendous results. So the fact that it's a THC-free product that we've put in the dispensary 8 months ago, and we have seen nothing but positive results to the extent that we only had it available in a single serve and a week long.
Right.
And after 2 months, the dispensaries were calling saying, my patients need this in a month. Is there any way you guys can do it?
Cool, that's great, yeah.
And the answer is yes, John. And so we've chosen to price that month-long supplement at $37.50. And the reason why is we went to GoodRx and we said, what's the average cost for a copay for a type of medication that this might substitute? $37.50 was the dollar amount that we found. So we don't even want that to be, a hassle for that patient that's wanting to convert over to a non-lethal, viable alternative. So we're really excited about that product. And
that's what we always push is I got off opiates with cannabis and CBD and stuff like that. So I always push, those opiates, they're not for your body. That's why you slough off the residue quickly. That's why you keep, in my opinion, cannabis THC in your body so long, because your body wants it.
It is, it's stored in the fatty cells for a reason. If it were toxic, like you said, we'd expel it from our systems. But it's a beautiful system that is meant to be stimulated, is meant to be balanced. And we really believe that, with our medicine, we're providing people an opportunity to actually have the doctors diagnose what the root cause problem is, rather than trying to treat symptoms.
Cool.
Okay,
right
so we're excited about everything going on. Definitely check us out, natureskey.us. We're going to have a campaign coming up here shortly. Gift Battle Buddy to your Battle Buddy.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And so we're really excited for this movement. We partnered up with Major Ed Polito and the Heart of a Lion Foundation with John Daly, and just to have pillars of society that can make the best influence with this product and get it in the right hands. We're honored for the opportunity.
That's right on, brother. All right, cool. Okay, that's Battle Buddy. I'm sitting here
Buddy.
talking to my good friend Joe Hare, the CEO of Nature's Key. We're going to take a short break. You know me. I hope you toke up and tune back in. Pinga!
I'm on shrooms, yeah, shrooms, yeah, shrooms, yeah, shrooms, yeah. I'm on shrooms, yeah, shrooms, yeah. Roll up gas, yeah. We want all the gas, yeah. We want all the gas, yeah. We on all of that, yeah. We want all the gas, yeah. We want all the gas, yeah.
It's important that you follow the process I'm about to describe.
I'm on shrooms, yeah. Last night I was shrooming, thought I was metahuman. I pop 3 shrooms, no mollies. Geeked up, get in my bag. Geeked up, she wanna get with the, she wanna get with the game, but I'm not attached no strings. I feel like playing Johnny, rock, gold cards. I pop 3 shrooms, no mollies. Geeked up, get in my bag. Geeked up.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you're toking up and tuning back in because you know I sure do. We're going to give a quick shout out to a couple of sponsors. One thing we got is a cutting edge solution, CrowdCam. Rock on, rock on. And one of our sponsors too is Castile Farms. Now we've got a lot of stuff going on with them. It's going to rock. If you want to be a sponsor on the show, because that's the only way we can do Wake and Bake with Old School and Co., is you go to www.patreon.com/Old School and Co. And you can sponsor the Old School and Co. show for $50 a month. I'm sitting here talking to my good friend, Joe Lewis. Hoorah, he's a fellow Marine. How you doing, brother?
Good, sir. Simplified.
Cool. Now, you're running for House District 84, correct?
88.
88, I'm sorry. I was
Yes, sir.
close. A big 88? Okay, I should be
Yeah,
able to
it's
remember that.
pretty big, about 40,000-ish people.
Cool,
A
cool,
lot of
cool.
doors to knock.
Now, we've been talking about a lot of things. You've got a lot of programs and stuff that you are supporting and going with right now.
Yeah, so next month, actually, on 420, kind of ironic, we'll be out at the Capitol doing an event called Field of Flags.
Right.
So it's for a group called Parent Promise. What Parent Promise does is educate parents how to be better parents, helps with, abused children, things like that. What the flags represent is, so the American flags, about 1,700 kids die every year from child abuse.
Well, they're killed every year.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they'll have 60 flags that'll be Oklahoma representing kids who have died from child
Right.
abuse in
Because
Oklahoma.
I don't cut any slack to a child abuser at all. That's
no,
just one
yeah.
of the things that goes all over me. So they're an adult and they abuse a child. I don't care. I'm really, really hardcore on that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Cool. So yeah, that's going to be on 420.
Yep.
And I do like that you represent every child that has been killed by. Now, what's the name of that group?
Parent Promise.
Parent Promise. Now they can get a hold of that. How?
You can just parentpromise.com. You
Parent-
can donate to it. I'll be out there just putting up flags, working with them. I do it with my girlfriend every year. So
Okay, go. Now that's one thing I have liked about you because I've been up the Capitol several times, and you come up to me several times, and you've given me literature. Now I keep saying you don't need to give me literature, brother. I know you.
Yes, sir.
But you've been up there, and you are a boots on the ground kind of person. That's one thing. Marines, hoorah, dig that. You're boots on the ground. You're a hands-on person. You get out there and do it, and that makes a big difference to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not owned by any PACs. I'm not owned by any lobbyists. I've put my own money in my campaign.
Right on.
And then, regular people. I don't want PACs or lobbyist money.
Yeah, you got a regular job.
Yeah, I work every day.
Yeah, I dig it, because you've got to adjust your schedule to come down for my show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I really appreciate that.
big believer in if you're going to be a representative of people, represent the people,
There you go.
not a lobbyist.
There you go, because a lot of people get up there and get in office, and they turn from working for the people, and they become a lobbyist. They start listening to the lobbyists that are talking to them, and that no. Like I say, it's a temp job in my opinion. So if you don't voting or doing what we want you to, you're going to be in or out.
I have no desire to do it for a career.
Right on, brother.
I already have a career. I'm not trying to do this.
There you go. Cool. I dig that. Now, you get down. You got any events you got getting down to lectures or debates or anything like that coming up?
No, I get on. I talk about different bills going on throughout the state. Things that I agree with, things that I don't. I always give you a pro. I always give you a con. Let you make the decision. You're the voter.
Okay, well, cool. Well, you know me. I'm going to throw out a couple bills if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
What is it? 3414.
Okay, explain it to me.
Okay, that's a psilocybin. That's a mushroom bill where they can legalize mushrooms
Yes.
for research. Yes, all right, Mike. There you go. Right on, brother. Now,
That's a
what was
strong yes.
a strong yes for me too. I do want that done. Now, what is some other bills I got? 1367. What does 1367 do? Wow, that's a test. Oh, that's one where they makes it a felony to puff pass, which I do not promote. Puff pass, in my opinion, is medicine, but I do not want the government telling me I cannot do something like that.
I'd agree with you.
And I think that is 1367. You might have to correct me on that.
Yeah, government, as little government as we can have influencing our lives is always going to be better.
Like I always say, I like regulations because regulations does say what our growers and processors can do.
Sure.
But I do not like restrictions because restrictions are telling me as a patient, I do not like to be told what to do right.
I agree.
You know how it is, improvise, adapt, and overcome always, and always be that unit to fall back on,
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Where were you at? Just throwing that out.
Where do I live, or?
No, where were you at in the Corps?
Oh, I was in the infantry out at Camp Lejeune.
Oh, cool, Lejeune, yeah.
Good old swamp town.
Oh, Swamp Town, I do, yeah. And nothing but walk. If I've got a lot of phrases I could use here, but we can't use them on this show.
Yeah.
So, I dig it. I've done that. Okay, now I've got another thing I'm going to have to ask you. You're running for House Rep 88.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Lewis, House Rep 88. I'm going to ask him right here on my show. Are you pro-cannabis, brother?
Very.
Very pro-cannabis. Well, then we got some people we need introduced into. We've got Rose over here, and we got John over here. Okay. Hi there. How are you doing? Oh, I'm new here. Hi. Oh, yes. And these are two virgin plants. What we got is a plant from Grown with Love, and we've also got Pinky Mangoo. That's Castile Farms. We're going to cross these two right here, and this is going to be the only plant that's going to have this genetics and this cross. All right, right on, brother. And I'm not going to shake. Now, I can mention that Nancy, I was going to shake them together and stuff, because Nancy, she takes a male and she just beats your fingers with them, and that's what I wanted to do, but they didn't want pollen just everywhere. All right, that's it for today. You've been sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in, because ping! All right. Nice breeding right here.